They say every old bridge has a story, a secret whispered by the wind and the rushing water below, but the secret of the old mill bridge wasn't one of ghosts or lost treasure. It was something far more celestial. Old Man Hemlock knew. He wasn't always Old Man Hemlock, of course. Once he was just a man who'd lost his way, finding shelter in the cold, damp space beneath the stone arches. That's where he first saw her. He'd been trying to light a small fire with trembling hands when a soft glow caught his eye. There, caught in a tangle of ancient roots and debris, was a figure of impossible beauty. Her wings, vast and white, were pinned, with feathers torn and scattered. Her eyes, the color of a dawn sky, were filled with a sorrow so deep it seemed to drink the light from the air. She was an angel, trapped and broken. He didn't run, he didn't scream, he simply sat, mesmerized. After a long silence, a voice echoed in his mind, not through his ears. It was like the chime of a distant bell. "Help me," it pleaded. He scrambled closer. "How?" He croaked, his own voice rusty from disuse. "A wish," the angel's voice whispered in his thoughts. "A selfless wish for another grants me a moment of freedom. A selfish wish for yourself. It costs me a feather, but it is a cost I am willing to pay." Hemlock looked at his tattered clothes, his empty stomach, the gnawing loneliness in his heart. A selfish wish. It was all he knew. He thought for a moment, the temptation a burning coal in his gut. "I wish," he said, his voice barely a whisper, "for a warm meal, the finest I've ever had." As the words left his lips, a single perfect white feather detached from her wing and drifted to the ground, dissolving into motes of light before it touched the earth. At the same time, a wicker basket appeared beside him, a napkin covering its contents. The smell of roasted chicken, fresh bread, and warm stew filled the space under the bridge. He ate like a starving wolf, the food more delicious than anything he could have imagined. For the first time in years, he felt full. He looked at the angel. One feather was gone, but her expression was unchanged. The next day, the chill in his bones was unbearable. "I wish," he declared a little louder this time, "for a thick, warm coat and sturdy boots." Another feather shimmered and vanished, and there beside him was a woolen coat that felt like a king's mantle and boots that fit as if made for his feet. He was warm, he was fed, but he was still alone. This became their ritual each day. Hemlock would visit the angel under the bridge. Each day he would make a wish. He wished for a bottle of fine wine, for a soft pillow, for a pouch of gold coins that he hid away. With every wish, another feather disappeared. The pile of roots and stone holding her seemed to loosen its grip ever so slightly as her form became less substantial, less burdened by the physical manifestation of her wings. He started talking to her, telling her of the life he'd had before, the mistakes he'd made, the people he'd lost. She never spoke back, not in words, but he felt her presence, a silent, patient listener. He'd spent his gold on small comforts, but he always returned to the bridge. He started to believe she was his friend, his only friend, his secret treasure. The days turned into weeks, the weeks into months. The angel's wings, once a magnificent spectacle, were now sparse and thin. Only a handful of feathers remained. Hemlock had a small fortune hidden, his clothes were fine, his belly was always full, but a strange emptiness had begun to grow within him, a hollow ache that no food or wine could fill. He looked at the angel, her form more translucent now, her light softer, dimmer. He realized he didn't want to wish for things anymore. He just wanted to sit with her, to feel her calming presence. He tried to make a selfless wish once. He wished for a sick child in the village to be well. The angel's light brightened for a moment, and he felt a warmth spread through his chest that was better than any coat. But the habit of selfishness was a deep-rooted weed. The next day he was back to wishing for himself. One cold afternoon he arrived to find only a single feather left on her wings. Just one. A terrible panic seized him. If she was free, she would leave. He would be alone again, truly alone under the bridge. The gold, the coat, the memories of fine meals, they all seemed like worthless trinkets now. "Don't leave," he begged, tears streaming down his face for the first time in decades. "I'll stop, no more wishes." Her voice filled his mind, gentler than ever. "There is only one wish left, one feather, make it count." He looked at her ethereal, fading form, and the truth of his own heart hit him with the force of a physical blow. All this time he thought he was taking from her, but she had been giving him something far more precious than gold or comfort. She had given him purpose. She had been his companion. He loved her. I wish he began, his voice choked with emotion. He looked at her trapped, weakened state and then at the sky visible through the arch of the bridge. His selfishness wrestled with this new, terrifying feeling of love, and in the end the old familiar selfishness won, but it had twisted into a new shape. He couldn't bear the thought of losing her. He couldn't bear her being free. If it meant she was free from him, I wish you would stay with me, he whispered, the most selfish wish of all, forever. The final feather trembled. The angel looked at him, and for the first time he saw not sorrow, but pity in her dawn sky eyes. The feather did not fall. Instead, it dissolved, and as it did, the last of the roots and rocks holding her crumbled away. A brilliant, blinding light erupted under the bridge. She was free. She rose into the air, her wings now whole and radiant, made not of feathers, but of pure starlight. Hemlock reached out a desperate, hopeless gesture. She ascended through the stone of the bridge as if it were mist and soared into the heavens. He was left in the sudden, crushing darkness. The warmth from his coat was gone. The gold in his pocket felt like cold, useless stones. A chilling emptiness, vast and absolute, opened inside his chest. He clutched at his heart, feeling a void where something vital used to be. It was then he understood. She hadn't just taken his wishes. With every feather, with every selfish desire he had voiced, she had taken a small piece of him, and with that final, desperate wish, she had taken the rest. She had flown away with his soul, leaving behind nothing but an old, empty man under a bridge. Thank you so much for watching. This story is a reminder that the things we take for granted and the desires we chase can sometimes cost us more than we could ever imagine. If you enjoyed this tale, please hit that like button, subscribe for more stories, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Until next time, stay curious.